Jeff runs a
I run a radical young art gallery in Melbourne, and I'm in town for the Biennale. Julian's here, Calaman's here. He's Julian's big dealer. This is a little artist from Space in Newtown. What else can I say?
I've got a lovely suit.
Got a lovely suit on tonight. I got the sales. I just hit the sales in Melbourne. David Jones,
And I'm also an artist.
I'm also an artist, really smashing artist. We'll be recreating a Richard Lana performance in a month with a bit of nudity and some vegetables. It's going to be hot, red hot.
And you're thinking of changing your name to Koenig?
Yeah, I'm going to change my name to Koenig because apparently it's a meal ticket of the Eastern Europe.
Yeah. Jeff Koenig.
Yeah.
That'll be your gallery name.
How long is this going to continue for with filming?
I'm not sure. So you're the first person to be filmed.
No, I mean years, months, days, minutes?
We're not sure. You're the very first.
Is there a van with a canned food in it for these
Not
guys?
sure. They don't speak English.
No English?
No.
Oh, right. So that was Morse code before.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. From France.
From France? Très bon.
Anything you'd like to know about him?
Well, how do you paint with that?
I use a chopstick. So what I do is because everywhere around the world there's sushi restaurants and there's always complimentary chopsticks. So I go in and I get a chopstick and I put the chopstick in the end of the paint tube and then I pull the chopstick out and then I put the chopstick on the wall and then I end up with a little dot. And then I just, because it's a disposable chopstick, I can just put the chopstick in the trash. And that's how I make my dot, with a chopstick.
What drew you to the work? Because the way Julian's told it, he describes you standing there looking at the record for a very long time.
Yeah, I know. Whoops, you got to keep that out. I know Julian likes to tell that, and I don't exactly remember being completely mesmerized in the same way that Julian's telling that story. But I do remember standing there being really interested in the clear polycarbonate record, and it was just nailed onto the wall. And then, if I recall, there was some kind of green spray painted circle that overlapped the wall, and I was just interested in, one, the clear album, but also the relationship of that album to the wall, and the fact that it was right there in the Chinati Foundation office. And yes, I know Julian likes to say, completely mesmerized, that I've lost all my bearings, fully absorbed in the art. And I certainly found it interesting, and I was curious, but I think that story's been sort of made up as a real transitional moment that perhaps our lives together completely changed from that point on. And maybe that's not so true, but it was something that interested me, and it was something that made me want to consider figuring out what Julian was up to and what he was doing, and made me willing to go look at the locker plant to see what was going on.
And I'm not
Hey,
your
little guy.
arm breast.
Yeah, you're not my arm rest. You're also not my lap cat. Daddy needs you not in the lap so I can answer the questions for the camera. You'll get your chance to be on the film.
So how did you get from being mesmerised by Julian's record to curating Midwest?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Doxy, this way. What is strange, every 2 years when they announce who's representing New Zealand in the Venice Biennial, I just can never understand why it's not you.
Yeah.
It seems like it should
Thank
be.
you, David.
I mean, I'm not on the selection committee, but
Yeah.
I can't see who else it could possibly be.
No.
And whenever they name anyone else, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Well. Should we go
across?
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's also the, I'm just a little bit kind of curious about why I've never been picked for those things. But I think you explained it well because, I'm kind of like a moving target, really.
Well, yes, and I think that no one can guarantee the reaction that anyone will have to your art.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the big thing for any selection committee, is that no one can promise that the critics will be overjoyed. Because it is certainly confrontational. And either you will enjoy the conversation and find the commentary pleasurable or funny or intelligent or provocative, or you will simply be alienated by the commentary. So I mean, you can never tell how people are going to react to something that is deliberately demanding.
Yeah. Unless it's TJ McNamara, we can always
Yeah, well, we'll know
let's come full
how he'll
circle here.
react.
Yeah, we know how he's going to react each time.
Right.
You know, God bless him. You know.
I mean, that is funny that person thought the booklet was a joke because it is
Yeah.
just so over the top.
I kid you not. You know, they said, "Oh, this is hilarious," and you know, they said, "Look, you know, you put all the dates and everything." And I realised, I said, "Tony, this book is real."
Well, obviously it means he's got a real obsession with you.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
obviously hitting some note with him,
Yeah.
something about himself that he can't handle,
Yeah.
can't explain, can't understand, and feels compelled to investigate time in and time out. Every single Dashper show,
Yeah.
he feels an obligation to explain to the world and himself why he must hate it. And that's what's so amazing about the whole thing.
It's consistent. Huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
is that it's obviously so deeply moving for him
Yeah.
that he just has no choice.
He's only missed one in 28 years, is when he was on sabbatical on a Rubens tour. Yeah. I've never met the guy.
You've never met him?
Never met him.
That's what's even more amazing. All those years and you've
Small
never
town.
met
I
him.
never even met the dude.
Wow.
Yeah. But like I say, that's what our.
Has anyone met him? I mean,
Oh yeah.
Oh, he is a real person.
Yeah. But like I say, that's what our granddaddies fought in the war for. You know, free speech, and I love it. You know.
Why are you falling out? I'm sure you have better things in life to do.
I forgot what I said.
Did you see him actually install the dots, or you? I think you were.
I did. Oh, well, from across the yard.
Yeah. And what do you say to people who think it's just a joke to put 3 dots on?
Well, it's not a joke at all, but it's the artist's entire career up to that point, day in and day out of working, that allows him to get to the point where he can just go into the space and put 3 dots on the wall. And a lot of people don't get that. They're suspicious of that kind of gesture, and so that's the answer you have to give maybe the uninitiated, because they're suspicious of that being good art because it was so easy, supposedly so easy. Cut.